Hello and welcome to round 3 coverage of the Dynamic Disc Open from Emporia, Kansas. Stop 5 of 15 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. You're watching JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
And we have our 10-year anniversary shirts on sale now at JomezPro.com. This is a cool design and is also available as a poster, so get it now. All right, sorry about the shenanigans, folks, but to be honest, we are about to deal with one of the windiest, most difficult conditions we have ever seen on the Elite Series in any of our lives. Ricky Wysocki is our current leader at 8 under par, 11% parked, and the wins that we've had through the first 2 rounds, that is quite impressive. And folks, he's not just an ultimate player, he's not just a trick shot artist, he is a bona fide disc golf superstar. Brodie Smith is proving this week that he is a true disc golf top player. Speaking of top players, Canada's top player, Tommy G, Thomas Gilbert.
Circle 2 putts 40%.
Yikes. You don't make circle 2 putts in these wind. This is impressive. And James Conrad tied with Thomas at 4 under par. I just can't, I mean, we are going to see the disc fly in unique ways today.
Starting off with hole 1, par 5, 1,224 big ones. Straight down the middle, you're gonna have out of bounds left. That's a lot tighter this year at the country club as well. Out of bounds road on the right. Third shot's gonna be landing short of where the drone was, just at, into a very tight green, slopes on the back side of it, and OB in the front.
Arizona, sponsored by Dynamic Discs. Ricky Wysocki.
This is the only hole on the course facing this direction, and this direction is currently with a tailwind, meaning you're not going to see many tailwinds out here today, folks.
This needs
A
a
little
lift.
low.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Ricky going with Darude Sandstorm. That is a bold choice.
I thought I saw it get through that tree, but it was not a disc what I saw. I don't know.
It was a bug.
That must have been what happened, because I was like, there's no way it came out of there with that kind of speed. I'm sure he's just stuck in the middle.
I saw the same thing. This looks like it has the right height and the right width. Big hyzer.
Nice.
Very good.
You guys are talking the whole time during the song. I'm trying to hear the song. I feel like that says as much about the player as how they play. That's just, to me, I don't know.
Sponsored by Brodie, Thomas Gilbert.
My name is Thomas Gilbert. I've been playing disc golf for 6 years, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. In 2016, I picked up a disc for the first time, just playing disc golf with my friend. He brought me out after school to this course. He thought I might like it because I played ultimate frisbee at the time, and so it just was a good fit. I started playing with him, with his disc, just borrowing that, and just kind of was hooked from there. I would say that I immediately started practicing anytime, anywhere, every place. At school, I was putting, playing a lot, throwing in the fields. Even between lunch hour and after school, I was probably out there at least an hour to 2 hours each school day, and then immediately get home and maybe go practice in the basement. I had a nice little basket set up down there. There was no stopping me once I was hooked. So throughout the entire winter, if it was minus 30 degrees, I would just continue to throw on the ice at my cottage on the lake, and even on vacation brought a basket with me and would be grinding it out because I just loved it that much. I kind of realized that I needed to put in the time to get to a level that I wanted. I was watching a lot of coverage right from the beginning as well. I just kind of found it on YouTube and looked at some of the forums that some of the pro players had that I kind of looked up to. I definitely tried to emulate Simon Lizotte and Paul McBeth when I was starting out, and really started to want to develop a form like that, and I knew that was only going to come from practice, so I really had to just push hard and practice as much as I could, and it was really fun. It was kind of easy to just go full dive into it. So I kind of got the nickname Disc Golf Encyclopedia a few years ago after being able to, like a book, just read out facts about disc golf. My friend Nate, he would have rounds where he was trying to play a course and I would be like, oh yeah, do this because 2016, like you threw this shot, it worked out super well. So I kind of just got that nickname from just watching so much coverage and just loving the sport. It's cool to kind of watch a super fan. I am a super fan as much as I am a professional. Playing with the top players of the sport, competing, watching people just throw cool shots is something that I still enjoy a lot. And I think people can recognize that and relate to that a lot. And that's kind of where I've come into relating a lot with some of the fans out there. I really quickly wanted to come down and play in the US, and actually GBO in 2017 was my first event. I couldn't bring down a car, I couldn't rent a car, I couldn't travel around without the help of other players. So there's several friends that have helped me in that way. So it's been really amazing to get the help and the guidance that I needed to become the player that I am now. Another really cool thing is the support that I have from my Canadian audience. It's amazing to see the level of support that I have. Every single day I get messages, great round, well playing Thomas, Canada's rooting for you, and it's pretty crazy to see that level of support from almost an entire country, where I have these big super fans that are just out here sending me messages, supporting me on tour, and really rooting for me. It's a great feeling, and I'm super proud to be able to represent them.
Great to get a little look at Thomas's roots in the game of disc golf. I think he's got to have the current world lead for most feet thrown over ice. It's got to be miles. Well, kilometers, let's be real.
I didn't quite see where that landed, but
And from Blacksburg, Virginia,
down the fairway and
sponsored by
inbounds.
MVP, James Conrad.
So we saw Ricky hit the top of that tree on the right. We also saw Thomas hit the top of that tree and bounce down. Brodie gets over it. Let's see if James throws the turnover. I knew he was going to do this. That's just his kind of style. But this is the reason why you don't want to do that today.
With the tailwind so hard to go down that hill and sustain the turn, that thing stables up and does find out of bounds.
Ricky having to go with a standstill forehand for his second shot, which shouldn't be too hard for him to get the distance.
The only thing I don't like about this is the right side is a lot harder to attack the green than the left. So even though James is going to be out of bounds on the left-hand side, I still think that he's in position to get at least a putt for the par play in the position on the left side drifting and to the right.
Thomas as well is having to go with the standstill forehand, and he's going to be down the middle of the fairway, but take note of that disc just taking a long time to get to the ground. That's just the stuff that we're going to be seeing all day. The disc is going to react in ways that we've just never quite seen before.
And this needs to get down. There it is. It's in the middle.
Yep. Great shot for Brodie. Doesn't look like that menacing of a wind right now, but don't be fooled.
Uh-oh.
This needs a big oh.
It caught it, I think.
Okay. That gets around and gets a skip off the road. That can get way down there with this big tailwind.
Yeah, that's true. Could also hit a curb and stay out there, though.
I don't think that's going to be great position for him to have some sort of shot into the green, though.
Oh, no, don't. That is the one tiny spot that's out of bounds right in front of the green.
Pretty crazy that didn't have any skip, just came in on heavy angle and stuck.
With the tailwind, too, you just think that it's going to push a little bit. The problem is actually getting the disc to stop.
This is in some danger.
Okay, Ricky comes up short of the out-of-bounds area.
Curious to see where James ended up here if he's going to... Oh, so he actually got to the left side of that. That's nice, and it's a good break.
Yeah, it is. Popping out the side, allowing him to throw, and let's see what he does with this. This needs to sit down.
Whoa.
And
Oh, no.
long, and that's what I was expecting more of that result with Thomas's shot, even though it was coming in with Heiser.
Brodie, the only one with a chance for birdie.
And that needs to kind of sit too, but that's great.
Yeah, edge of circle for birdie. Talked about this yesterday when the wind was even calmer. Just getting yourself in that 100-foot and in range in regulation, allowing you to give yourself just a chance for the birdie, but laying up like that to get the easy par, that's ideal. Par is birdie
in conditions like these. Thomas would have to make that to achieve the par. So that will be an opening birdie for Mr. Gilbert.
This is a big putt for James. He's definitely going to run it. Man, that's tough.
Nice looking effort.
That's going to be a double bogey start, I believe.
Brodie just off the cage. We'll have to settle for par.
Those are going to be the looks you kind of want today. You either want to be parked or right around circle's edge so you can do little soft bids and take, just like Jerm said, that beautiful par.
I'm looking down the stats right now, and 107 players played, and not a single putt is registered in UDISC as outside the circle.
Wow.
But that's not fair because I did make my putt outside the circle. So one missed stat. And maybe our UDISC people who are volunteers might not get it all right. But according to UDISC, not a single putt made outside C1 on the first hole. I don't know if I can ever recall a hole where not a single C2 putt was made.
Hole 2, par 4, 745 feet with out of bounds on the left side, defined by that golf fairway. Tough tee shot in these wind conditions because you've got to get around that one fairway tree and break right to stay away from the out of bounds.
Yeah, I feel like normally there is... Wow, that is way right. But normally in windy conditions, the better players are going to be able to shape shots through the wind, right? This is so extreme that there's 2 rules. The one is do not show the bottom of the flight plate to the wind. That's it. If you can do that, you're going to be in good shape. The other one is don't show the bottom of the flight plate to the wind, and you'll be in good shape. As you see, both of them do that there, and then you're just at the wind's mercy. So the two-way player, sidearm, backhand, is going to be the person that's...
Thomas pushing this one out way left, and look at this bend way back to the right.
And get through the bush.
Wow, that was a huge shot for Thomas. That's going to set him up down the right side of the fairway where Brodie and Ricky are currently.
Yeah, but you see, as soon as it turns over, he was way left, and he went 250 feet to the right.
James trying to go inside flex line with overstable and gets through, and that's going to be well back of birdie range, but it got through.
These are hilarious shots to me. Now he has to do the same thing and watch this. It's just, okay.
And then gave it a little boost.
And this is, I mean, this isn't just difficult for the players. This is difficult for the camera crews to try to track disc because they're going to fly in ways that the camera crews have never tried to track before.
It's just the type of day where you can't relax on any shot.
Oh, wow.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But not even a 10-footer. Not even after you stress out for 29 seconds over an 80-foot layup, and then you finally get it to 10 feet, you still can't just relax and start thinking about the next hole because every shot has a danger of lifting on you. Every shot takes your maximum focus and just trying to trust that you can get your angle right, your spin right, and get the disc to go where it needs to go.
Brodie.
Man, how did he get over there? He was in bounds, I guess.
Never seen a player over there inbounds by that fence. Now Brodie's got some work here.
I like Brodie's game for today. He has plenty of power both ways. He's going to fight the wind with that sidearm approach. That ain't no gimme, though.
Oh, gosh. There is no such thing as that today.
I wonder, I don't think there's an easy way to see this statistic, but I would love to know just how many C2 putts were made total. You know, like, because I gotta think it's like 20, you know, for like the field.
Right.
Maybe more. Certainly more than 20, but way lower than a normal day would be. And see, you can see that. I mean, that is one of the greatest putters to ever live. Ricky Wysocki, just absolutely uninterested in a 30-footer.
Good putt for Brodie to take the bogey. That was a solid up and down.
Yeah, from that distance, it's usually just pick up your disc, don't concentrate at all, pop it in, but he goes through the full routine right there.
Through 2 holes, we've only got 3 from outside C1 and made putts and throw-ins.
Wow. Hole 3, par 3, 466 feet. The wind is ripping across this fairway from the left to the right. Players have to go probably almost a different gap than they would normally play in calm conditions. You almost have to make a total shift in your strategy here because that OB does run down the right side. I don't think we'll see the wide hyzer that we've sometimes seen. I think you've got the straight shot or the wide forehand, straight backhand or wide forehand.
I love this from Ricky. Playing Anheuser with a very overstable driver, knowing that it's going to fight back, just setting himself up for the easy 3. I'm sure he's thinking in his head, if everything goes well, I might be able to get a putt. But that was well done just to get that far down the fairway. Now, as wide as this is in serious danger of going out of bounds to the right.
That little tick of a tree branch may be helpful. Who knows?
But that wide left sidearm hyzer is not even safe. Once it starts going downhill, that disc is going to lift and carry.
This looks good. Oh, it dropped quicker than I thought.
James has got a great game for these conditions. Backhand only, but the way that he controls overstable discs with Anheuser, flat and hyzer alike, he is able to he is able to manipulate great control in the wind, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles that throughout the day.
Look at those poor banners in the background.
Lots of banners were sent to the grave
deceased.
today.
Yeah.
They were goners. I think I counted 5 that I passed that were just snapped at the base. Just all over the place.
Yeah, banner budget is
Through
taking
the
a
roof.
toll.
Yeah.
Through the roof.
2023 could be a tough year while we recover from the losses of the DDO.
That was a great approach from Thomas. We can't overlook that. These little short touch shots are... When do you practice this? When do you get to go to just Oklahoma and just go to a field and practice?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't go outside.
I mean, you could,
Yeah,
but you don't.
You just don't. Ricky, from so long, looked like a little bit more of a bid than it actually ended up being. But you're right about it. You just don't go practice this kind of stuff. So this is just all creativity. This is all just figuring it out on the spot.
Oh, no.
It's dangerous to
That
go outside in these conditions.
That is the disaster I'm talking about. Short putt, quick lift, skips off the top and out of bounds. Good recovery, but a double.
So Brodie, tough start here. Bogey, double bogey on 2 and 3.
And look at the lead for Wysocki.
Just
Growing.
ballooning.
That's the thing, though. He takes double bogey there, and I'm not like, oh, he's out of it, you know?
Whoa.
Oh boy. And that's why, right there, is
Yeah.
because that's happening to everybody. Like everybody's just gonna all of a sudden take a double bogey
Yeah.
from inside the circle. So it's really important to understand that and to just keep fighting.
Patience.
Exactly.
Patience and mental fortitude those are going to be your biggest allies on a day like this. Just take a deep breath. Know that you are not unique in the breaks that you are receiving. You or not receiving or whatever, everyone is out there battling the same things.
Hole 4, par 3. Yeah. 3. 598 feet with OB everywhere in the strongest headwind.
Strong headwind.
I mean, come on.
And there's just OB everywhere. This was a tough par 4.
Yeah.
Thomas playing safe forehand and getting a ton of distance, actually.
Yeah. Nice flip. Pretty scary to see the disc turn over in these conditions, but if you can control it, there's extra distance to be had.
Oh, I like the angle out of James's hand.
I think it needs to get down.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Okay.
Oh, no. That's like playing 550
Nobody
then?
can, hardly anyone could even throw it to that green,
Yeah.
I think, in this wind.
And he has a completely blind 260,
With OB right behind the basket.
270-foot approach with full flight.
Does this one need to get down?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, it needs to get down quick. And it did not.
Yeah, out of bounds. Scratch what I said about Ricky's lead ballooning really quick. Things have changed. Still with a nice lead, but that short missed putt and that OB.
Look at this
One
shot.
thing.
Oh, no. Is that OB?
No.
One thing you guys need to know
Fantastic.
about Brodie Smith is this dude has a ton of power. I mean, it doesn't look like the conventional power that you see from like the Thomas Gilberts of the world, where you really can understand the long lankiness. Like, he is just all out power. Big, tall, strong guy that has found a way to generate velocity with his form.
His legs are tree trunks.
Yeah, he has got a lot of strength.
Ricky trying to get that save. This needs to sit. And
Yeah.
does.
And I like that place there. For that distance, Ricky should be able to get the 4. Nice protection of the wind in that back pocket.
Which that 4's still a little bogey. It's going to be another red check on that scorecard.
This
Brodie.
has to be one of the better drives of the day.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think he could even see the basket, which is just such a luxury here.
What an approach, too.
Well done from Brodie. First time earning his way onto a lead card at an Elite Series. We've seen him on feature groups in the past, but he didn't get here out of popularity. That's a great putt.
Wow. What a comebacker.
Yeah, definitely. This is the hole where we started to see 2 putts being made. There's quite a few of them, but really one that we need to call out, and that's John Willis, who threw it in for the day's only 2 from 150 feet.
Wow. So it is a par 3.
It's an all-out eagle, Nate, and you know that that plays as an eagle. It almost plays as an albatross.
Well, it is kind of in this little knoll of the wind, right?
You're right.
In a
You're
little
right.
bowl, you
You're
know?
right.
So
That is
it's
a
not
slightly protected green.
Exactly.
Basically, Paul's saying it's the least impressive 150-foot throw he's ever heard of.
No, I mean just for putting in general down there.
Yeah,
I
of
feel like,
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This hole, however, opposite end of that spectrum.
Oh, yeah. Par 4, 675. I just don't even know what to say about it. OB left, OB right, and probably the strongest wind on the whole course, I would say, is this exact spot.
This one and
Every
hole
year.
2, I feel like,
Okay.
are like just, they're up on kind of high on the hill, not a lot of trees to protect you.
I mean, just watch what happens to these discs.
Thomas, I like the play here with the big, strong right to left playing forehand hyzer against the wind.
But that's going to be so tight up on the trees.
Like, how do you keep your second shot? How do you advance and keep it in bounds
Right.
from there? That's the hard part.
You got to throw the same thing
Yeah,
again, I think.
This has got no chance. This is... Even if you hit in the middle of the fairway with hyzer, there's a good chance you're going to skip up and that wind is just going to take you straight OB left.
And this tee shot, I feel like,
Oh.
is just made for James.
Yes, this is so good.
Such commitment on that line with that flat release.
Really nice.
This is the best play, I think, for the whole, if you got it, because you're, again, not showing that bottom flight plate to the wind.
Yeah, it's just going to be very interesting to see how much Ricky and Thomas decide to bite off on
They-
their second shot.
They will have this move, the low sidearm skip, but you can't count on that skip because of the heavy crosswind. So they're going to go up the middle.
Okay. And that's
Yep.
fine. That's a good safe play. Inbounds, up the fairway. Job done, almost. Brodie with no other options than going out over the straight side and
Whoa, no
No.
way.
come back in bounds.
That was a brutal
The
roll from the wind. It's just jumped up the wrong way, and the wind took it straight
my
out of bounds. Well thrown by Brodie.
I was just about to applaud the effort. It was a great shot.
Thomas is going to suffer the same fate.
And that's the problem is if you hit the short grass, the skip is going to go straight. It ain't hooking up at all.
No, it doesn't exist.
You can't afford to ever let that shot get flat. It has to stay on hyzer the entire time so that as soon as it skips, it's on edge. That's the only way you have a chance.
Oh, James Conrad is going to be in the bullseye for birdie. And you can't go wide right with the hyzer for the same reason that Paul said you're exposing the bottom of the disc to the wind. But you can't go anhyzer either because the top of the flight plate will push it straight down into a roller.
Ooh, Thomas is in some trouble here.
And we saw Brodie keep it on hyzer the whole way, like you said, but that didn't even work.
Oh,
Yeah.
He threw literally the perfect shot and just got absolutely boned on the approach. That was bad result.
I personally am stoked on commentating this round. I think it's a blast to watch these discs kind of just do whatever they want. I really do.
Yeah, the discs, the players don't even really matter. It's what the discs want to do.
It really is. Like one slight bit off, and the disc can just do some crazy things.
Yeah.
Looks like they're discussing where Brodie went out and then in. Looks like a favorable spot. I think that's right.
Oh, boy. Okay, didn't go too far.
Full on hyzer flip, turnover, S turn, hyzer back on a putt. This is some wild stuff.
No way. This is getting in to be a huge number.
Dang
I love this.
it. That was insane. The happiest bogey Brodie Smith might ever take.
If that somehow
goodness.
cuts through, it's going into the crowd. The way that it flipped up.
Or you might have to dodge it as it's flying
Yeah, it
back
might
at his
roll
face.
right back and try to bite you on the ankle.
Okay, for the greatest birdie,
Yeah.
the only birdie of the round.
I beg to differ.
No, I mean for this whole card.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
I think every time I've played and win like this, I find myself sort of feeling like we're doing something out here. It isn't disc golf, but it is something.
Yeah.
And I think that's how that putt is. That's what that is. Because that's a dead center putt. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
The wind is blowing through the chains so fast. As soon as the disc tries to turn sideways and fall into the bottom of the basket, it just blows right back out to James. And that is just a
Heartbreaker. Absolutely.
It's just made worse by the fact that that was a birdie
Yeah.
on a really hard hole.
Still
think-
getting the box, though, on hole 6, this par 3. The big right to left is going to play the big hyzer, and these guys are going to try to, like, essentially play Plinko with this tree. And James has done so,
Come
but
on.
gotten the bad kick forward out of bounds, and the bad breaks just aren't stopping right now for James, unfortunately.
I'm taking back what I said about excited to watch this.
Look at this bounce.
Anti-skip forward out of bounds on 7's tee box, essentially. Wow.
Yeah, it isn't disc golf. So for all you at home, you know, you're watching something new. You got a whole new hobby you're into now.
This is the DD blow, is what this is. Used to be the wind-blown open. And for anyone, Thomas, look at the angle control here. Just to keep it in bounds is just paramount. But for those at home who argue for the baskets to be smaller, I say come to Emporia in April and then try to make that argument when you see shots like James go in the chains from the bullseye and spit right back out. If these baskets get smaller, that happens more. Do you want that? I say no.
I feel like maybe Emporia could maybe go back to tone poles.
Yeah, right. I say make the baskets
make
about
a little more sense. At least if you hit the
70%
thing.
bigger, maybe.
All right, we got a chance for another birdie here.
Oh yeah,
Let's go.
Brodie
Go.
Smith.
That's big.
It really is. That's big for him, and that's big for the card just to know, hey, this is possible. We can get birdies.
Good putt there. And these guys just aren't
Yeah.
having a good time.
No, I mean, when was the last time you saw James literally shaken up? We make jokes about James is losing his temper when he like brushes against the tree root or something like that, joking because the guy is as cool as a cucumber. But seeing him actually visibly annoyed is a very rare sight.
Hole 7, par 4, 678 feet. Extremely low ceiling, tight drive. Actually over OB initially, so if you hit one of those really early trees, you could be re-teeing. Good look at it here. You've got to get left of that out of bounds area, the brown short grass there, to be inbounds on your tee shot, and then you've got an uphill, somewhat guarded approach to an elevated basket.
I believe there's actually a drop zone if you don't cross in bounds.
Oh,
That's a little bit of an advancement, but it's
Okay.
not by much.
okay. Well, hopefully we
Look
don't
at
have to
this
see it
shot.
used.
Hitting the gap, getting into prime position.
I mean, if you guys have been watching this event in the past, you know that the ideal drive when conditions are suitable is getting over that ditch. That's setting up an uphill approach. But these guys are just trying to hit the gap and just stay in bounds. And these drives right here, as Thomas does settle in bounds, those are great. Hole 6, the last hole, was the closest hole that we had all day to par average at a 3.1. And that was the easiest hole
Wow.
at 3.1. Going back a couple weeks ago at the major, the hardest hole averaged less than that.
What? This has got to be statistically the hardest day in the UDISC era.
The average course score was nearly 9 over par. That was the average score.
My word. Solid drives.
Yeah, really.
Very impressed with the drives. I mean, any lift, and there's that low-hanging branch right off the tee that'll get you.
Oh, Ricky, settle down. That's wonderful. Setting up the tailwind a putt for the birdie. My goodness, that's awesome.
I expect to see a few of these kind of get in there close. I'm betting this is one of the easier holes. Is that right?
5th most difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that probably because of that gap off the drive
Yeah.
then.
I think it's just hard. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going OB off the tee.
Yes. Like not clearing that little OB line.
Yeah, or just drifting OB left, or there's a lot of bad things happening out there today.
I mean, in your approach, let's just say you don't get an ideal drive. Like, this is the best drive of the group, of the people on lead card. He's got to go uphill, low ceiling into a headwind. How do you go uphill in a headwind and keep the disc on the plane without burying it into the ground, without lifting into the branches? That's what the field was contending with today, or competing with. Or was I right the first time? Maybe
both.
Or was I wrong
I
both
like
times?
the first one better,
Okay.
but I think they're both a little right.
Very good. All right, Brodie. For back-to-back birds.
Yep. None of that. What was that? I thought he said eagle bear, but I don't think that makes any sense. Nice putt for Thomas. And Ricky with a chance for a birdie. Yes. One of 5 players. 5 to birdie out of
That's-
107.
That's crazy. Just because they made the drive look so easy, they just completely confused me.
And this is, in the calm, one of the easier holes in the course.
Absolutely.
5th hardest on today's round.
The crowd was so spectacular today. Just the energy from you all was just amazing.
I love you, Oregon.
Welcome to my nightmare. Ripping wind, downhill tee shot, OB on both sides.
Check.
Nearly 1,000 feet with a low ceiling finisher.
Check.
This has got to be one of the hardest holes.
The yellow line. Who is playing that way?
Gosh, somebody with a little more aggression than I think we're going to see here today.
That hyzer was going around that tree that's beyond the crowd there, which is like a 580-foot shot. Ricky is going to be trying to play it safe and short and not finding inbounds. These guys are going to hang it out wide with something very overstable because that left to right is actually your friend.
That is a fortunate path there. I think I saw a few players that would hit on the grass on the right side of that path and just anti-skip. No left movement.
Well, that's why I think this left to right is your friend right now. These guys should be trying to go distance driver and trying to force the out of bounds left. I mean, and that was unfortunate there for Thomas because I liked the idea of the play. Just not quite the right execution.
No chance. Oh, that guy was getting beamed like laser on him. But there's that flight plate. What happened?
And he's going to do it again. The bottom of the disc shown to the wind.
Roll
And
back
the cut
in.
roller.
Okay, roller can be your friend, folks.
Good break.
Ricky well back up from position. This looks like a great recovery shot, though. That's going to be right down where he'd like to be and sets him up for a good opportunity to save the par.
Which is a par 6 today.
Yeah.
Oh, this better be very understable. It is.
Wow.
That is what Thomas Gilbert does, folks. He just, I think, is it just the spin? Is he just getting like Garrett Girthy type spin? Is that how he's getting so much distance?
That's got to be part of it.
I mean, it's just
terrible anti-skip there.
Don't.
Terrible.
Dang it, what a bad break. Such a good drive.
I don't want him to watch this and see what happened right there because that was a fantastic shot.
Needs to sit. Isn't going to do it. Mate, is it? No.
There's that out of bounds on the left side, back side of the green. Brodie can still save the par if he's able to get up and down.
So everybody's just thrown OB already on this hole.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
that,
everyone in the field, I feel like. Did you go OB once, 2 times, or 3 times? That's the question you could ask somebody who played today.
kind of good.
Yeah. He will have the tailwind. If there is any wind, there is that little bit of protection with the trees. And it'll certainly be windy, but how windy? It's definitely calmer than other places.
I gave up hope on hole 5 when I was like, I can't wait to see today. And then James's little spit out, I was just like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And Brodie with the scuba there, I really like the creativity. The upside down disc, kind of without glide, I think a great weapon to have in these kind of conditions, because he's able to kind of take a stab but not worry that much about a wind lift.
Dang it. It's going to be pretty fun to watch this next generation coming up. That for a while the game was predicated solely on backhands, and then players started coming in with forehands. Now more players have forehands. And then the scuba comes along, and now you see a bunch of people go grenades and tomahawks and thumbers and stuff like that. But now Brodie's introducing a new shot here that's being useful. Good up and down for Ricky. Good par save. What I'm saying is the next generation, really they're learning that you have to have literally every shot and all the creative options that there is if you want to give yourself the best equipment.
Look at that sickening rainbow of colors across the bottom of the screen.
And there's a couple birdies on the front 9
Yeah.
for our card in total.
Yeah, there sure are. 2 of them, I think. Not really surprising, though,
No.
to be honest. That's just how it's playing, and it's not getting any easier right here on the 9th. This one, you have the tunnel shot to start, going downhill over the out-of-bounds area. You see how all of that is grayed out in our picture, so that first 200 feet or so, all over OB. Then you get inbounds, but you have to stay away from that path on the left, and if you do that and move right, you've got no shot. So you really would like to throw straight. That's impossible. So you end up over here under this pipe like Ricky Wysocki with almost nothing.
He's in bounds, but what do you do from there?
Pitch out.
I still contest that that's better than the drop zone. I think it's...
Oh, yeah, no penalty.
The drop zone here, I think, is one of the most ruthless drop zones that you can really have, because it's not really an easy way to even play for bogey.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you almost are like left with double as best case scenario. Brodie's in incredible position, and Thomas is looking like he was going to be in incredible position, but now he's just in the fairway, which is actually incredible. So good for you.
You can definitely make bogey from the drop zone, but
You
you
can,
can't
but
make
it's-
par.
No, you can't make par at all. And of course you can still make bogey, but there's just zero chance.
We're going to see it here, unfortunately.
Yes.
I think he's going to go to that drop zone with the out-of-bounds drive. And here it is. You're way back, good angle, but just sort of impossible amount of distance. And I just don't think this wind is going to allow him to turn this all the way to the basket. It's a pretty fantastic effort.
It's very well executed. You can't really do it much better than that. And that's going to set up 150 feet left. Is this in... Okay, it's close to being in danger.
Man.
Yeah, I was worried about that, but he has come up just short.
Now Ricky has the same kind of shot here.
You don't really have an opportunity to get aggressive. You just are trying to pitch out.
Wow, that is so risky.
Both living on the edge.
Both of those shots are so risky.
my goodness.
I'm going to say needlessly risky, but they got away with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brodie actually has an opportunity to give Birdie a chance. No, he does not.
Now he could give Bogey a chance.
He's giving Bogey a great chance.
He's giving bogey.
All we are saying is give birds a chance.
Yeah, that's all we're asking for.
That was a nice effort from Thomas. Going to leave him about 28 feet for the par.
Great shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Ricky does. He finds ways to scramble. And this would be a really nice bogey for James, and he is going to tap that one in. I think we can go ahead and say that's going to be a bogey.
Well,
No more bullseye misses.
I mean, miss is a strong word, isn't it?
Yeah.
It did end up on the ground, but did he miss?
No, absolutely not. And Thomas, nicely done, executing the par. There were 3 holes in the front 9 where birdie was only executed by one player. Hole 3, Nathan Queen. Hole 4, John Willis, as I said before. And hole 9, Chris Dickerson. The only 3 in the field.
Wow.
This was the second most difficult hole, 4.9 average. Basically playing like a 5.
And as much as we've talked about these courses being extremely difficult, gotta say, they do have a longer tee pad on this hole that they used to make us play.
Yeah.
And they didn't make us do it. So thank you, because that
Yes.
would have got insane if they made you go another 60 feet down that tunnel.
And the difference between the lengths in those tee pads isn't much, but it makes a huge difference on this hole. And I think that it improves the quality of the hole tremendously.
Kevin Jones with a 2 under on the front 9.
Wow.
Given that on our entire card we had 3?
No, 2.
Two.
2 total birdies.
2 total. If they were playing quads,
Yeah.
they could have shot 2 down. So hats off to Kevin Jones. That's a miraculous front 9.
That is incredible. Easily, in my opinion, the harder of the 2 9s. So I think we're going to see quite a few more birdies and birdie opportunities on this back 9. But the wind's not going anywhere. The conditions are going to remain, obviously, insanely tough. And we've got some holes that could potentially end a players' tournament coming right up.
Wind's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. The players aren't going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So you might as well subscribe at this point, I feel like.
Just do it. I don't
Thank
understand.
goodness they gave us those buckles so that we could stay strapped in. That tornado earlier was
that
a little
was pretty
crazy.
scary.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a scary moment.
That's why we
for
got to
me.
thank the Founders Club. Without them, we wouldn't even have a roof over our heads. At least we had enough to keep the show going despite some inclement weather. Thank you guys. We'll be back with the back 9.